This tutorial will demonstrate the capability of RB views and will show you how to easily create a view. For this tutorial, I'm going to show the view the user will see first. Then I'll show you how easy it is to build what we're going to see next. This is the account data view. I've added some data so you can readily see how they work. The show function allows the user to select how many rows of information will be displayed. The default value in this case was set to 10, but the developer has the option to change the default to any value shown. The search field is a type ahead search and will show the records found as you type for views that have less than 2,000 records. Once over 2,000 records, users will need to type in the value and hit the magnifying icon next to the search field to perform the search. Clicking the recycle icon will return the view back to its original state. The search is a full context search of information shown in the view. Columns are default sorted on the first column of the view, but the user can change the sort by clicking on the column header. Columns can also be filtered to help search or sort information. You'll also note that whether you search or filter, the sum of the total orders column and the opportunity value column shows the value of the rows displayed in the view. If you remember when we created the table, total orders was not a column we added to the table. This is a calculated column that was added when the view was created. You'll also note that there are sums of the total order and opportunity value columns. These were also defined at the time the view was created. The order of columns can be changed by simply dragging the column where you'd like it, or the width of columns can be changed. All of these user preferences can be saved and will persist on subsequent returns to this screen for this view. Clicking on the Excel icon will download the contents of this entire view to an Excel spreadsheet. Here's the resulting spreadsheet. As you know, you can size the columns from here as you feel appropriate for your use. All of the capability you've seen is standard out-of-the-box functionality. No programming is required to deliver this type of capability using RB. This tutorial will demonstrate how to simply create a data view. We'll be creating a data view of the account table. This view lists all the data views created in this instance of RB. This view will only show data views you've created or data views used in applications you've been authorized to as a developer. Users with an admin role can see all data views. Under the Tools menu, select Create a View. There are a number of options when creating a view. We will name this view Account View. This will be used as the title of the view as well. If you put in a display title, this will override using the name as the title shown in the view. You can also use views as online reports. Use of this function will be covered in another tutorial. Under connection information, you can select other connections and schemas. This can be used to connect to other data tables, both used by other RB applications and/or external databases, such as connecting to a Microsoft SQL database, for instance. We'll select the account table for this view. In the Query Information section, RB automatically creates a select statement that selects all records in the table. However, you have the capability to filter the view based on the column value or by use of a JavaScript function that is called whenever the screen is opened in the application. This is a powerful capability that provides considerable flexibility to filter views dynamically. You can also set limits on the number of records that will be retrieved and displayed in a view. In the Add Database Columns section, you can add individual columns or you can add all the columns. I'm going to add all of the columns and we'll adjust from there. If you watched the tutorial where this data table was created, you'll have noticed that I used an underscore to signify the space between words, like account underscore name. When you add all columns, RB will automatically remove the underscore and replace it with a space. Once the columns are added to the Added Columns box, you can remove and move columns to default the order the columns are displayed in for the user. Just as a note, the user does have the ability to change preferences to order the columns the way they would like to see them. so I'll adjust them for a default order. While I'm ordering the columns the way I want them, I'll also tell you you can change the name of columns by selecting the column in the Added Columns box. The detail will appear in the fields to the left. Change it and then click Add Column. Be sure you click Unselect when you're finished with that change. I'll get rid of some tables I don't want to show in the view. Keep in mind that I added all columns, but I did have the option to add the columns one by one if I chose. For large tables, I've found this works best. The Calculated Column section gives you the capability to add a column to the view that is not in the table. A calculated column meaning we will perform a mathematical operation of two or more columns and display the result in a column in the view. In this case, we're going to add a column called Total Orders. We're going to add the order value 1 and 2 columns together. RB will default all values aligned to the right, but you have the option to change to the left or to center the value. As you can see, you can perform any of the arithmetic functions shown, and you can control how many decimal places are also shown. For more complex formulas, you can add parens where needed to combine values. Next, we're going to add an edit icon, which will appear in the first column of the view. When clicked, this icon will link us to the screen that allows me to edit the record of information selected. As a side note, RB comes loaded with some common icons, but you can load your own images via the image library. To complete the process, I need to link the action icon to the ID of the record, so that when the action icon is linked, the ID of that record will be passed to the screen. So when the database GET is performed, it's performed against the record that was selected and the proper data is populated in the fields. Oops, I just realized I did not hit the Add Column button to add the calculated column to the field. I'll fix that now and then position it next to the order values columns. RB also provides the ability to sum, average, or count the records. In this case, we'll sum both the opportunities values as well as the total order amounts. Image columns allow you to replace a value in a cell of the view with an image or a symbol that you visually want to draw attention to. For instance, you could replace a yes with a check mark. Inline editing on a column-by-column basis can also be turned on, where you can edit a value directly in one of the cells in a view, similar to how a spreadsheet works. Editable columns gives you functions similar to inline editing. The main difference is that the editing of the value is via a pop-up when you place your cursor in the view cell. We'll go ahead and save our changes. As you've seen, creating a view that has pretty powerful function is really a matter of setting parameters. No programming per se is needed. That, however, is not to say that a programmer can't leverage some of the advanced capabilities to dynamically filter views with JavaScript or dynamically control what happens when an action icon is clicked by the use of JavaScript. Those are just examples of some of the advanced capability when working with views. This concludes this tutorial.